You actually haven't seen these episodes, have you?
New South Park episodes.
South Park episodes.
No, I haven't seen the new South Park episodes yet. I want to see a clip. I've seen a few people talk about it on Twitter and such, about how they've...
Kenny's Asian.
I've heard how they've replaced Cartman with a black lady, and it's apparently a mockery of Disney.
You got to put this fight off as well, so that everyone knows what we're talking about. Just give us a minute, we're loading. We have very bad trouble with our internet today.
We'll skip ahead.
There we go. Kenny's Asian.
Oh my god.
So we've got two black. Well, actually, that's probably black.
So
that's probably Asian.
Cartman is
Hispanic and
Indian, I think.
And Indian. Whatever. We've got many diversity now, but they're all female.
Many. Well, you got it, haven't you?
They're all female.
That's how you go.
The whole cast is female. So it basically starts off with, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Go watch South Park. If you don't watch it anyway, I think you need to. South Park is one of those things now that has become I'm pissed off with that new movement. South Park will make an episode, go watch it and have a laugh, because you're going, oh my God, it's so true.
And do you know what? I never actually used to like South Park when I was younger. When I very first watched it.
That's because it was down a Warren.
When I was
very strange thing.
When I was a young kid and I very first watched South Park, I must have been 10, 11, something like that. I was kind of like, what is this? This is like...
It was really badly animated as well.
Oh my God, this is kind of offensive. I don't know if I can get into this. But when you actually kind of watch it, you kind of realise how clever some of the episodes are.
That's it. So this episode launched on Friday, the 27th of October. It was on Paramount. I think it's always been Paramount, hasn't it?
They have it on Paramount Plus?
Yes, Paramount Plus it's on as well. And basically, it starts off with Eric Cartman having bad dreams, and obviously his mum's like, oh, what's the matter, sweetie poo, you know? I think we're going to be replaced. I've got dreams we're going to be replaced. Anyway, he had a dream about going to school. He turns up and he's black, and goes to Stan and he's black. And turns around, goes to Kenny. Kenny's Asian. It's basically a kick at the person who deals with Disney at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a kick at the whole market, not even just the marketing team, but the core of Disney, where they're trying to make everything so, I guess, so woke that it's almost laughable at this point.
Is it?
Like, have you actually watched The New Little Mermaid?
No, I haven't seen that.
So
no.
Me and my lovely wife started watching it recently.
I didn't even know it was out.
It's on Disney Plus, and we started watching it, and I genuinely couldn't get over how ridiculous it all seemed, in the sense that even just the mermaids, right? It's kind of stupid, because all of the mermaids and the king is Hispanic, his daughter is black, his other daughter is Asian, and like all of the mermaids, his daughters, he's Hispanic, he's a Hispanic merman, right? All of his like 5 or 6 daughters, they're all different ethnicities. But I'm like,
adopted them.
But I'm like watching it, and I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. And then you get to the castle, Prince Eric, his mum's black, Prince Eric's white, and you're like, wait a minute. But then they've changed the story to say he was adopted. And I'm like, what?
Why are we adopting white people?
But I'm like, in the whole story, I'm like, why have they purposely changed the ethnicity of almost every character? But Sebastian the Crab, they kept him with a Jamaican accent. Isn't that offensive? You know what I mean?
I completely agree with you. I mean, it's getting a bit too far-fetched now. I mean, it wasn't ever about skin colour. It was about a little mermaid adventuring her way through the ocean.
But none of it made any sense at all. And as I was watching it, just keep watching it, you've got like a little like town of people that are around the castle where the prince lives and stuff. And every person that lives in the town or works in the castle, it's like a different ethnicity.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense, because that's not how a city works.
Well, it's got a bit... It's a bit like the other day. I've tried to watch Ahsoka. I've gone back to it 4 times now. It's my 4th time trying to rewatch it, and I am only 20 minutes into episode 2.
Oh, really?
I cannot, for the love of God, grip it at all.
Because of what? The story, or?
Not the story.
I assumed it wasn't the story. I was just sort of...
I haven't met a lead male role yet, apart from the Sith.
Oh,
and yet he is still a pawn to one of the
you're talking about Balin.
Sisters, Night Sisters.
Balin's girl?
Yep.
Yes.
And Sabine has force powers now.
Yes. I did find one issue I had with Ahsoka.
You had to have midichlorians, but now apparently anyone can fucking force wield.
I looked into this the other day, apparently, and not originally, when they brought out the sequels, they said it's the midichlorians that give you the force powers, and only certain people have them. However, they have recently retconned this by saying that midichlorians live in every living thing.
Yeah.
So technically, anyone can be force sensitive.
It was living everything as in like the rocks and.
Now I kind of like the fact
creatures.
that anyone can be force sensitive. However,
you got to use it right.
Yeah, I don't.
You can't have two main characters right now, Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yeah, I don't
force wielding.
I don't like the fact that they just suddenly are like, oh, they can wield the force now.
It's absolutely killed it for me.
One thing I did struggle with Ahsoka as well is that you have to have watched a lot of the animated series to know what's going on.
Yeah, no, you do. You're almost forced.
Because I've never seen the animated series.
No.
Right? So I was like...
No, you're missing a lot of references.
I was 2-3 episodes in and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Who is who? What is happening?
I mean, Ahsoka never actually was in the Revenge of the Sith at all. It turns out that the periods don't match up.
That bothered me, actually.
And something's going to I can see it happening. They're going to relaunch the Revenge of the Sith. And it's going to have snippets of Ahsoka. It is. They're going to do it because they did it with the originals. George Lucas, years later,
when they spliced
did reboots because of poor quality of CGI. He didn't have it back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I get that. I get that. He even stated that. He stated that when we make the later on films, when we have better technology, it'll be a lot more. Star Wars will be more Star Wars. He always said that. And he's done ads like he changed Jabba, everything like that. But
yeah.
They're in a minute. They're gonna chuck stuff into there, and you're gonna go, I don't remember watching that, and it's gonna be there. It's like when you go back and watch A New Hope. The cantina part, the cantina, doesn't have that song with that alien, and the same with Return of the Jedi. It doesn't have that dancing alien in the beginning with Boba Fett. It didn't have that. It wasn't that song anyway.
I don't mind some of that. However, it kind of gets to the point where it's like, when is it not even the same film?
This is it, and this is what's going to happen. I can see it's going to happen. Disney have taken over because they can. They bought it. They bought the franchise. They make some fantastic things. I mean, I have a lot of Star Wars stuff from over the years. I've been gifted and collected and everything like that. I mean, I've got whiskey glasses. I've got in there shampoo set. I've got a mug.
Couple of Lego heads.
Might get Seb in later to take a photo and show it. I've got an original it's literally 1980s Darth Vader mug. That is literally original. I've got the original Blu-rays as well. We used to have the VHS when I was a kid. We actually had the original VHS where it had the green front covers. They'd actually have like Luke and all that on the front. But it's getting to a point now we're starting to change the dialogue, change the way that everything works.
So you say that in Ahsoka, if you get further into the series, about episode 6, I believe it is.
I don't think I'll make it to that.
They do a load of flashbacks to stuff that never actually happened between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. They do a load of flashbacks that show Anakin and Ahsoka together, which, like, if you'd just seen the films, you wouldn't even know Ahsoka
wouldn't make
exists.
sense, would it? You'd have to have watched the animated series.
But she never really existed outside of the animated series.
No, I suppose that's right.
They did all these kind of weird flashbacks, and you're like... It just feels a bit weird, because it's kind of like retconned in, just thrown in a little bit.
Well, this is it. This is where we're going down the line of what Disney has planned and what it's doing, and it feels as if with the new films, the reboots... Don't watch it because they've got white people in it. Wait for ours to come out. And then when you watch Star Wars now, you've got to have watched Andor and other shit.
I've never even seen
Andor.
It makes
sense.
Have you watched Andor?
No, the last proper Star Wars thing that I watched was Mandalorian. I even had to turn that off at the end because it had, what's her name in it in the end?
Oh, Lizzo.
Yeah, I had to turn that off because you never had celebrities in these films back in the day. Now every bastard's on the bandwagon.
Yeah,
they're jumping in it.
Mandalorian, I didn't mind. However, the one issue I've got at the moment with Disney anything is if it's not a new Star Wars show that comes out this month, it's a new Marvel show. And it's like, oh my God, can you slow the fuck down?
Yeah. It's like having a new iPhone every 6 to 8 months.
It's literally every month there's another show coming out. And you're like, what? Why?
Well, they've even toned that down, haven't they? They've even ruined that. because we don't have enough female leading roles. I mean, can we go back to like watching Kill Bill? That was female led. There's bloody loads out there. G.I. Jane. You know, like I'm talking old school films that have female led roles in it. I mean, even now we've got like a TV series which is like Special Forces, which are women, which makes.
I think that's called Lionesses, isn't
Yeah,
it?
makes no sense because they're not allowed to do that unless they're Israel. Yeah. Oh, another thing, going off subjects there. If you are in the US military now and you're between the age of 18 to 25, I believe it is, you can now be drafted to go to war. So, hooray! You join the army,
Fun
go to
times.
war now. But that's what we're trying to say. Like there are films out there that have got these lead roles, and you're saying that there isn't enough, or you're saying there's not enough black people in it. I mean, Star Wars, I will agree with you. Lando Calrissian was the only black man in the whole universe.
Yeah, Star Wars is a little bit whitewashed.
But back then that's probably how it was. You know, but then you say that, but Darth Vader's voice was James Earl Jones. I mean, I know you didn't see him, but he had the black man's voice. That's what he wanted. George wanted a deep black man's voice.
Do you know what? I don't really care who plays who or who plays what.
100%.
However, if I go back to my...
I don't actually look at the skin colour when I go...
The thing is, I don't care what colour someone is or what... But the thing that bothers me is when it doesn't make any logical sense. Like when I was talking about Little Mermaid earlier.
Yeah, replacing
and
it.
King Trident, is that his name?
Oh, fuck knows.
Anyway, the King Man of the Sea. He's one ethnicity, and his like 5 daughters are all something else. And it's like, it doesn't even make any sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. And it's... You're recreating something.
But it's like they've done it just for the sake of it.
I mean, did they even show it in the cartoon?
What's that?
All the family in that.
I think they were in it, yeah.
Were they?
I think they were at the start, yeah.
It's been such a long time ago. But then it's like the Seven Dwarfs thing coming along, Snow White. I mean, I don't think it's called that now. Well, is it? It's probably like Sleeping Princess or something.
Yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Haven't they changed it to Snow White and something else? They can't say dwarves.
No, they're saying dwarves.
What did they change it to?
Small people, I don't know.
No, it's not even small people. It's like they've completely abolished the fact that they're ever short.
But I just don't know. So it's at the moment, South Park are on the right track with everything at the minute. They are literally, they did Andrew Tate.
I think sometimes South Park are the only ones that are brave enough to actually say something about it.
To fight up against it in Paramount, fair play to them, sticking by its side and airing it.
Well, I think if you're a company, any company like showing South Park, you just have to take it on the chin, don't you?
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like Fox, years ago with The Simpsons and then Family Guy and everything like that, now hence why I moved on to Comedy Central and stuff like that, and BBC 3 at 9, because it was like proper watershed times. But thanks to the internet now, we can watch anything during the day.
Yeah.
And it seems as if now that like they probably want to put a grip on that.
It's kind of funny that
it's a good thing that they're...
When you think about that you can now watch anything online you want, it kind of makes the whole watershed thing seem like pointless,
distant,
doesn't it?
Pointless, yeah.
Like an archaic technique.
YouTube being for one of them,
It was only really because they had no way of policing it.
Yeah, this is it. YouTube. You give YouTube to your child, you've got the whole internet in its hands there.
They do.
I know YouTube's protected before anyone gets onto it, but you can end up in the dark web.
However, I'd argue
you can end up with some real bad, seedy stuff.
I'd argue you'd never need the watershed now because you have things like you can only show videos to your kids that are child-friendly.
You've got parental control.
But TV, you couldn't do that.
Exactly.
Whatever's on is on. So.
No, that's it, and that's why you had the watershed back then. It was 9 o'clock. They knew everyone was in bed by about 8, and the mum and dad were going to be up, watching things. And don't care if I've offended anyone by just saying mum and dad, but it's hard to keep up on it.
You've just got to say parents.
You got to think probably going to say that.
Yeah.
So probably class that as ownership.
Have we talked about the thing they do in hospitals now, where they can't say breastfeeding?
Oh
and stuff like that?
Yeah. We had that.
Yeah.
As a family friend thing, don't we?
Yeah.
What they call it?
So apparently, you're not allowed to be called the mum anymore or the mother. You are the I think it's like the life giver or something like that. The funniest one for me is that the midwives aren't allowed to say, "Are you breastfeeding?" They have to say, "Are you chest feeding?"
Yeah, chest feeding.
Which I'm not going to lie, like even if you're a man, this is still the breast.
Everyone remembers Family Guy episode when he goes to breastfeed.
Yes.
Stewie.
What? And Stewie wakes up.
And Stewie wakes up,
and he's like, "Oh,
what the hell is this?" Doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. But the thing is, it's like that's still the breast of a man.
Exactly.
Like, that's still the breast. Like you can still call it breastfeeding because it's from the breast.
Exactly that, and that's what I'm saying. South Park seem to be the only one at the minute that are fighting for it.
South Park do seem to be the only ones actually. Although Family Guy try and do a similar thing.
Family Guy do a similar thing, don't they?
But I think the problem with those ones saying anything is that they're We've got a friend join us. The problem with those is that because they're comedy shows, they're not to be taken seriously, but at the same time, that's the only reason why they can say it. So it's a bit of a catch-22.
100%. And I think with the South Park episodes, as well, a lot of people have identified with it is taking the piss out of us as well. It's taking the piss out of everyone.
Yeah,
it's literally taking the piss out of you.
That's
as
the
well.
thing. It's not taking the piss out of the people that are actually
people
black.
that are doing it.
It's taking the piss out of the people, like, it's taking the piss out of Disney. It's taking the piss out of the people that kind of try
pay for it and watch it, and people that push the agenda. You know, don't forget, it's like watching the boxing. You say the boxing's crap on pay-per-view. You're the one that paid for it.
Yeah.
You know, so it will only stop when we stop paying for it.
That's true.
I mean, I know Disney have lost like £900 million in the last couple of years from making films. Well, not pounds, maybe dollars. Keep at it. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Don't put it on. Don't pay for it. I think the last good film Disney probably did with anything that had any meaning to it was Soul.
Any substance.
It was Soul.
I quite like Soul, actually. I only watched that recently.
I mean,
I saw it a few months ago. I thought it was pretty good.
Some of the films they make these days now are literally for children and brain dead parents, because
do you know what?
There's just no.
I think a lot of the films that Disney make now for children are the sort of films that are designed to be stuck on an iPad, where the kid probably can't even hear it, just to entertain them for a bit.
Yeah, no parent watching.
I think it's one of those that they're kind of made for iPad kids.
Because you used to, didn't you? You used to go with your mum and dad to the cinema, and go and.
If you put a film on, it was like an event. But I think now these films are pumped out because they're designed for iPad kids that just need to be distracted.
Money margin coming in as well.
It's just for kids that need to be distracted because their parents can't bother to deal with them. You know.
So Disney, nothing new. South Park, everything new. Go watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. If you don't like South Park, go watch it. Go have a look. Go have a laugh. Because the animations have got better since the 90s. Don't just think all about the ones when they did Saddam Hussein and Chef. You know, they have got new ones. I don't think Chef's around anymore either.
I think he died, didn't he?
He did die, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they kept that, honoured that.
Long live the memory of Chef.
Long live the memory. Whereas everything now is just AI and Beatles' new song coming out and everything like that. John Lennon, you know, like just technology now is just, I think it's going too far. So yeah, go check out South Park.